Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome to Apex Racing TV's coverage of the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup Round 4 from Interlagos. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Andy Thompson, Sam Kume operating the broadcasting side of things tonight. And after a couple of races, 3 races in fact, in North America to open up the championship, we head south to Brazil, to this iconic Interlagos circuit. Andy, these Mazda Cup cars were a little bit cramped maybe at Summit Point last time out, maybe more of a familiar circuit for these cars. However, this place, they can properly stretch their legs. That super long turn 13 onto the pit straight. We're going to see some heavy slipstreaming out here tonight, and hopefully maybe a photo finish or 2.
Yeah, so obviously the first 2 rounds they got they had very big tracks that they could pass through, and then we went on to track 3 with Summit Point, which saw a few incidents from the few drivers, maybe not used to the narrow tracks as Summit Points, but this track, yeah, like you said, it's a story of 2 halves again. So you got the as you were saying, turn 13, the big long straight coming down the end, which will be very wide, very expansive, and a lot of slipstreaming should be done on there. And then you've got the tight, intricate part of the inner part of the track, so that's where it's more technical, but there's still opportunities to pass there, and I'm looking forward to a great 3 races tonight. So.
Absolutely, it should be should be one of the best, and we've got so many cars out here tonight, over 20 of them, which I think is most of the season, so it should be a very competitive field. Here is the championship at the moment. Parallel Simonek, his first ever Apex Racing League Series, currently leading the way, and with quite a comfortable lead at the moment over Caleb Hydes. Those 2 really establishing themselves as the favourites, but it's not been a great couple of rounds for Caleb. Ivan Pinocchio, Tom McQuell, and Rafael Franco all fairly close in 3rd, 4th and 5th. In the Amateur Championship, Dan Parmalee currently top, and he was also fastest in practice tonight, so looking to extend that championship lead ahead of Damien McMullen. Jay Walsh with a couple of good rounds recently in 3rd position, and also Wade Proctor and Darren Doherty rounding out the top. But of course we have a drop score as well across the 8 rounds, so don't necessarily take those points at face value, it can change a lot. Of course, we've still got over half the season to go still. Currently in a qualifying session, 10 minutes in length. We've got 3 more minutes of this one remaining. The drivers can set as many times as they like, and of course they're all out on circuit with one another. So that slipstream effect, Andy, is going to be quite useful. If you can just time it right, you can potentially shave off quarters of a second on the run to the line.
Yeah, definitely. That's such a long straight. And in these cars, as we've seen on the first 2 rounds, the slipstream is quite strong on it. So if you get a good run out of this corner in round 12 and 13 coming on to the last straight, then you'll get a real decent run up to the line. And you could obviously gain like 3, 4, half a second on your best lap time. We're talking about a championship, Sam. Been looking obviously at Caleb Pipes. He does very well in the first races, and the last 2 rounds he's had disastrous rounds 2 and 3 where he's been in a few incidents. So I think the obviously championship at the moment, Simonek is running away with it because he seems to have consistent rounds in race 2 and 3. So he just needs to make sure that this round he actually has a decent round 2 and 3, and maybe take it a bit easier on the first lap and try not to get into any altercations with other drivers, really.
Well, what might help him with that tonight is that we've got fairly small reverse grids. We've just got a 6-car reverse for race 2 and a 9-car reverse for race 3. So new viewers, new people to the series may not know that we have a random reverse between 6 and 12 places for races 2 and 3. That's decided before each round of the championship, and so yeah, it's just a 6-car reverse for race 2 and a 9-car reverse for race 3. So perhaps we could see a few less incidents this time out, but then at the same time, of course, you have that SNRS at the start of the lap where it is so easy to have incidents. Just a minute to go, and of course the drivers have to complete the lap before they get to the 10 minutes. So Dan Parmalee, he's just got over a minute to go. He should make it in time, but it will be close because this is a 1 minute 50 lap for these drivers. In fact, more like 1:52. These guys should be all right, albeit still pushing it close. Only 55 seconds to go. Christian Schmidt's at the head of this line. Just behind him is Tom Valentini. So the teammates working together for low grip racing. And well, this could be exceptional teamwork here if Schmitz can just give that toe to Valentini. And of course, as long as they get to the line, they've got just over 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, definitely. It's looking like a bit of the teamwork here. As long as obviously he plays it well, keeps him behind him, he should pull him up onto the time. Obviously, Caleb Pipes at the moment sat in pole position with a 151.33. With Ivan Pinocchio at 151.41. So Simonek is actually in 6th place at the moment, Sam, with a 152.04. So his lowest position for the season so far, I think, at the moment.
That would be disappointing for him if he stayed there. McQuell improves only to 9th, so he was the one with the draft apologies. It wasn't Valentini. You can see how close it was. Parmalee was nowhere near making it to the line, and those two just about got across, timed it well, but their lap times were not so good. And so here is the grid then for meeting for the championship. And it's Caleb Hyde, who needs to make up a few points in the championship, up on top there, ahead of Ivan Pinocchio. Then it's the all-Luxembourg second row of the grid, Christian Schmitz and Tom Valentini. There's Arias Diamantis, Philip Lauer, Parel Simonek with a lot of catching up to do, but he is usually more competitive in the races than qualifying as Powell. Then it's Pete Newman, surprisingly low down there in 8th. Tom McQuell and Rafael Franco round out the top 10. Then it's Dan Parmalee, top of the amateurs once again. Philippe Sen starts in 12th. Then it's Damien McMullen, Ronald Moons to Colin Sampson, Nathan Haley, Ismail Arafag, Wade Proctor, Jay Walsh, Thor Churley and Dan Doherty. I think potentially those bottom 2 starting from the pits for this race 1.
So it looks like, I think what we need to watch for this first race is Pinocchio diving down the inside. We know what he's like in previous rounds, so it'd be interesting to see if he takes hides on this first corner going in, because he's got the inside line. So I'd expect to see that move coming in from Pinocchio off the line if he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, he's a lot of drivers go for the long game. You know, let's work together, pull away, a little bit of bump drafting. not Pinocchio. He'll go for the move when he can, and that has proven good for him so far this season. He's up in 3rd place in the championship, and of course he is looking to take out points. But this is a great opportunity for Eyes and Pinocchio just to chip away at that gap of Simonek, who of course needs to make sure he's within the reverse grid places as well. 6 cars reversed from the race 1 results for the race 2 grid. So it is really important that Simonek gains at least 1 place and doesn't get himself involved in any incidents. The gridding uptime is over. The lights are on. And we are about to get underway then for race 13 of the championship. Lights go out. And it's Hayes who immediately tries to cover off the inside line. It's a very good start for him though, and it'll be Pinocchio who's having to defend from the others. In fact, 3 wide for 3rd position at the moment, with Tom Valentini getting a decent start, I believe. So Valentini in 3rd position there, and yeah, managing to make that move. Stick running wide, however, the drivers just behind onto the grass will pick up a 1x, but they still carried excellent speed through that corner. So yeah, good start for Tom, and it's a good start for Simonek as well to immediately get past Philippe Laura all down the field. Only 1 or 0 places gained for each of the drivers. You also see just at the back of the order, Thor Churle exiting the pit lane. Valentini, though, in fact, the entire field going off the circuit, going to the timing tower through turn 4, but very clean starts, and yeah, really not many changes right there, Andy.
No, it was a great start. Obviously, Kylobs knew what Pinocchio was probably going to try and do, and covered that off quite well to going into the first corner. So we had that covered, got away, and made a good start. So yeah, real good start from all the drivers, all quite clean. And we're coming onto the inside field now, which is the more technical part of the track. Lots of slow corners, you know, making sure you maintain the speed going through the corners to optimize the speed coming out, because it's all about following your lines and making sure that you actually get the speed that you need through these corners to get you a good exit onto the last straight.
And yeah, just staying in the queue as well, making sure you've got that nice bit of draft from the car ahead. Absolutely fundamental. You do not want to be left behind this early in the race. He's doing an awesome job at just extending that gap. Pinocchio will close down here, and Valentini, after that strong start, up into 3rd place, might go for 2nd position even here. He's certainly going to have a chance if he so chooses, or he might just try to work with his rival. Nope, he is, well, at least Pinocchio feeling like Valentini might go for the move, covering off the inside. Actually, I don't think there was any move coming, so they are working together a little bit as there's big contact with Pete Newman having contact with Philippe Laura there. I believe that was Newman going for the move on Laura. I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully the 2 continue well. In fact, Newman's had to... No, Newman is still going, so they drop right to the back, and that's their chances of getting within the reverse grid completely over.
Yeah, definitely. First corner is a do-or-die corner on this track. You know, you're going into it at real fast speed, and you've got to make sure that you get it all just a bit overcut that into the corner, going in, one going quite tight, one coming around the outside, and they connected with each other coming around the turn 1. But turn 1's a funny one. You know, you're going at full speed, you're at max revs, you've got obviously that slipstream effect, and it's making sure that you choose your marker, and your marker spot on for braking enough to get into turn 1, because it's vital that you get a real good turn in for turn 1 to give you the best opportunity for turn 2, which obviously that then goes down all the long straight down the back straight, so it's vital you get a good exit out there. But yeah, so great work there by the guys, and unfortunately now for Laura and Newman, obviously first hit of the race. But as we saw in Road America, Sam, coming out of that last corner, being at the front of the queue is probably not the best place these drivers want to be, because we saw the effect in Road America of that slipstream going up to the line, and I'm pretty sure that this track would be exactly the same situation.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, this is even longer than Road America, isn't it? So if you are close, then you're going to have a good chance, albeit okay, not making much of an impression here. Gap down to 0.2 of a second due to that incident we saw between Newman and Laura. It's now very much a lead pack of 6 with Simonek just at the back. So these will be probably the 6 who are reversed for race 2. Franco, I think, just got past McQuell, did he? Certainly the 2 of them were close, and they are still close. Franco just had a little bit of a poor lap, so I imagine that was actually McQuell going on the offensive on that occasion. But yeah, they are still very close. Certainly no breaking of the draft in this pack, because this one really goes all the way back to about Jay Walsh in 16th position. There's not more than 1 second between any of the cars, all the way down to 16th. And Dan Palmer, you can see they're top of the amateur drivers at the moment. They've got a couple of cars between himself and the Irish duo of McMullen and Healy.
Parmalee's come on leaps and bounds in the last 2 rounds. We had a terrible first round. Didn't let him disappoint him, as we heard him on the interview. Got his head down for race round 2 and 3, and he's done really well in them races. Been top am in the majority of the races. So really challenging the Irish contingency within the race.
Yeah, because they really dominated the first round, didn't they? I think it was Doherty and McMullen who really kind of got top 2 in every single race. No, Palmer looked strong last season. Maybe a few incidents, but still was, I think, 3rd place out of the amateur drivers last season was Palmer. So one of the favourites going in. And he's certainly living up to that billing at the moment. Meanwhile, Ismail Arafak's just got past Colin Sampson. Arafak now up 3 places from his race start.
Yeah, so we got obviously 2 local boys to this track, Franco and Sen, who's in 7th and 10th. So they seem to be doing quite well, up 2 places, and Franco's up 3. So pretty sure he's got that home pride that he wants to do well this round within there. But yeah, certainly a train going on at the front. So the front 6 cars all covered by about a second and a half. But Fasner's making a move at the moment, Sam, is Pavel Simonek. He's obviously putting in some really fast laps. He's got the fastest lap at the moment at a 151.47. So, you know, certainly don't rule him out in this train. Just being at the back, he's catching up, and probably just going to bide his time until he makes his moves.
And yeah, not biding his time was Ivan Pinocchio. Managed to make that move into turn 1 at the start of this lap. Hydes had the opportunity to come back actually at turn 4, but he just decided to bump draft him down the straight. So Hydes maybe thinking more in the long game than his rival. Pinocchio taking a slightly unusual line there, but this track is so wide, even around this part of the track. He can take a slightly tighter exit. This one down the left-hand to easy flats in these cars. Pick up a bit of a draft, and then of course you start the climb once again. Heights right on the tail of Pinocchio, just misses the apex of 12 slightly. You can see he's dipped a wheel onto the grass, so that will compromise his exit. But again, it's all about whether or not you choose to go for the overtake. Heights could go for this one, or he could just give Pinocchio a bump draft and try to pull away. You can see the top 4 just making a slight gap for it at the moment. What does Hydes do? It is a bump draft for him, or maybe just lifting out. I'm not sure if they actually ever made contact there, but yeah, deciding not to go for the move. And it's Pinocchio who leads as we move into the second half of the race.
Yeah, I think Hydes is playing a little bit of a game here. He knew that Pinocchio obviously took him on the last lap. Could have taken the place back, but instead bump draft. And I think he's just obviously biding his time, because he knows with that slipstream up the last corner, he might probably get the move done coming towards the end of the lap, or he may pick and choose his moment. But certainly a bit of a battle here between Walsh and Tulo at the back of the field. Great battling even into the lower parts of the order. We still have these really close battles, which is amazing with these cars.
Oh, look at that move. Completely off the circuit. I think there was Proctor picked up a slowdown, I think. Certainly slowed immediately. Of course, Churlo started from the pit lane, albeit it was probably the smallest pit lane penalty I've ever seen in my life. He came out right at the back of the train. Sometimes you lose 20 odd seconds. He lost about 4. Right there did Churlo. So can't complain about that one too much. Here was the move then from Jay Wolf. I think this is where we kind of picked up on it in the first place. And in fact, actually, he's dropped back a bit as Wolf. So he went wide. Did he go onto the grass? No, he did manage to make the corner still. Yeah, did lose out there. There was the contact, which probably compromised him quite a bit. And in fact, what are his sector times like now? He's struggling as well, so a bit of damage, I think, on that car. Of course, third place in the Amateur Championship. Doesn't quite look right. Looks like it's grabbing a bit, and he may need to pick up his faster pair with 5 minutes to go, as there is Thorchurle moving up the order, but he's just given at least a few seconds to his rivals.
Yeah, I think the green and the grey car behind him, not sure who that is, seem to follow him into that corner and do a bit of off-track, bit of dirt road racing, I think, to spice it up for the Interlagos track there. But no, it's I think Walsh, when he came into that corner, the car in front of him broke really early, so it compromised his line coming into this first corner, which obviously put him deep into, big off here, but Lauer again with, is it too low? No, Samson was Samson this time, so Lauer's having a bit of in the wars here, Sam.
Yeah, because had that issue earlier on with Newman, which sent him down. Has Jay Walsh got even more damage now? Yeah, I think he's managed to get another. So he already had damage. Oh well, yeah, that's certainly more than he had beforehand. And he can barely turn the car. Just needs to make sure he finishes either 1 or 2 laps down. Yeah, might be worth just turning back to the pits, honestly. That's not going to be any fun to drive. Out in the lead, it's got a little bit tasty. As we've got Sen round. Oh, come on, pick your spot. There you go. Yeah, he's down to 13th. Bad news for Sen there. Home driver, of course. So Pinocchio is still leading the way. We did have some other changes, though, I believe. Simon X certainly up into 5th, so he got past Yamantis. I think the others, in the end, stayed fairly the same. I don't think there was any change. Valentini staying ahead of Schmitz. It's also Moons and McMullen. Back to one. Now that was Moons just getting ahead of McMullen right there. Yeah, I believe so. Well, although Moons had a very poor middle sector. Anyway, back to the front. Final couple of laps of this race, I believe, although it will be very marginal whether we get 2 more laps or 3 more laps. It should be 2, but I can't be certain with the iRacing white flag system. And it was Pinocchio who held on once again. But these games that Hydes has been playing, Andy, they're going to come to an end soon when he wants track position.
Yeah, definitely. He's got to make his move soon. Everybody else is obviously queuing up behind him, and he needs to be aware of that. He needs to make his move. We got Schmitz coming up, trying to get up the inside of him, just showing him his nose and saying, "I'm still here, Caleb. Just make sure you do what you need to do. Otherwise, I'm going to take the place off you." So he needs to be aware of that. But you see Pinocchio here, different side to his race. Very defensive at the moment. So you saw going into the first corner, not taking it wide, taking that real covering the inside line into turn 1. So yeah, he's defending quite hard against the guys behind him who are very quick drivers.
Still we're kind of waiting for Simonek to make his customary moves up through the order. He's leaving himself a lot to do. I mean, you don't necessarily want to be leading onto the last lap. You don't need to be leading on the last lap, but you're leaving yourself a lot to do if you're down in 5th. And this might be the white flag coming out this time out. Remember, a 1 minute 53 lap with the pace that these guys are going at the moment, so they need that amount of time, and then they're not going to have that amount of time, are they? This is going to be the white flag then coming out at the end of this lap, so you got to make your moves quick. Pinocchio's made a break for it. This is pretty much the biggest gap he's got, I believe, into turn 13 for the entire race, so Ayers has got to do a lot, but he's going to have to be looking at Valentini just behind. The Italian out in the lead, not trying to break the draft at all, and Hydes will get dangerously close. There is the white flag. Kind of make it with about 5 seconds short. Here is Pinocchio covering off the inside. Valentini with a terrific run. Was getting a little bit boxed in, was Hydes there, and Valentini and Hydes make contact. Valentini moves ahead and Hydes almost into the barrier there. Has to go off the circuit over the curb. It's going to kill his momentum, and it'll be Valentini who should be able to pull away. Here comes Schmitz now, trying to take advantage. This is very much turning the way of Pinocchio right now, with everyone else behind him all fighting amongst each other. And Schmitz is able to move past Hydes, who's looked so quick throughout the race, but it's all turned terribly for him in just a couple of corners. Hydes down into 6th position now, the pole sitter, and it's the Amantis who manages to pull ahead of the 2 championship leaders.
Yeah, I mean, you can see perfect. That was a perfect example of the different lines going into the first corner. So you have Pinocchio and Caleb taking that real tight line into the first corner, and then you had Valentini who took the wide line, which is the faster line, and you could see you had the beat in the Caleb going into the first corner, and unfortunately they came together, which obviously culled all of Caleb's speed, and hence he ended up from second all the way down to fighting for fifth and sixth. So yeah, it's vitally important that you get a real good run out of that first corner, especially in these cars, because they're not the quickest at getting up to top speed, so you need to carry as much speed as you want. But coming around to the last one, Valentini is all over the back, a bit wide there on the exit, which obviously helps Pinocchio get out a little bit more. So just need to watch Smits now coming up onto Valentini, but Pinocchio's gaining a bit of a gap at the moment over Valentini. So I think Pinocchio's probably got this on the back. Valentini just needs to be aware of Schmitz. Schmitz came out of his slipstream there, which is a bit odd. You would have thought he would have stayed there as much as possible to try and drag it down to the line, but no. At the moment we've got Valentini and Schmitz still staying. Simonek up 3 places to fourth. Hyde's fifth, so a poor result for Hyde's from first base, and Diamantis getting sixth, and resident Franco from Brazil coming in seventh. So interesting race there, Sam, at the end.
That was super close between those 3 drivers at the line. Also pretty close between Arafag and Churle. Arafag beat Churle by 3/1000ths of a second. And then, yeah, we had Diamantis, Franco, Macwell and Parmley, I think, all separated by 0.13 at the line. Just over 100th of a second between those drivers. So the top 6 will get reversed, and that means it's not all bad news for Caleb Hyde, because despite dropping down to 5th place there, he will start in 2nd place for this one. But there is the results. Ivan Pinocchio winning out, Tom Valentini 2nd, Christian Schmitz in 3rd, then Simonek, Hyde and Diamantis. Those top 6 deservedly the reverse grid places. Diamantis will start on pole position for race 2. Then it's Franco, McQuell, Parmley top of the AMS, Moons, McMullen, Healy, Sen, Arafag, Churle, Lara, Newman, Doherty, Proctor, Samson and Walsh. All the drivers finishing, which was awesome to see. Well, at least Walsh scoring points, being classified down there in 21st position. Just got 15 more seconds to go, and the only man who isn't on the grid is Arias Diamantis, but now he is there and everything is set for race 2 of the evening. It was Pinocchio who took the spoils in race 1. Who is going to be the victor in race 2? Arias Diamantis brings us across the line to start the race, and it is a decent start once again. Not quite the start that Hyde's got earlier on, but it's enough to hold on to first position heading into turn 1. Once again, Valentini excellent from the start to gain a place, albeit he's still having to leave room to Schmitz on his inside. Top 3 just getting away slightly. Big slide for, well, I think that was just ahead of McFarlane. I think it was Franco who was all over the place through the second part of the Senna S, but all kept it under wraps. Good start for Churle, good start for Newman, who of course has a lot of work to do, trying to get back up into the top 9 to get reverse grid pole. You can see he's already dancing left, right and centre to make up places. Also trying to make up places is Simonek, who has almost got past Diamantis, who has already been passed by Hyde. So Hyde, with that excellent run out of turn 3, taking no prisoners at the start of this race too, and has taken the lead in the early stages. And there goes Simonek as well. Diamantis not able to hold off those 2 drivers for very long.
No, very fast drivers, Hydes and Simonek. Uncharted territory for Hydes, really. You know, he's normally within the mix within this second race. So, you know, as long as he keeps it nice and clean at the front, he needs to make sure he gets some good points. But the problem is, he's got Simonek on his tail, who's his champion's rival, and he needs to make sure he tries to get cars between him and Simonek to try and claw back some of this lead that Simonek has got over the championship at the moment. But the 2 main protagonists out front, Diamantis down 2 places into 3rd. Obviously didn't get a very good line out of the S's, off the centre S's, and obviously got caught by Hydes, and then following corner got caught by Simonek. So just needs to keep his composure and make sure that he gets this decent line out of turn 1 and 2 down the S's.
At the back of this one, Pinocchio trying to get past Schmitz, who's already lost 1 place to his fellow countryman. Valentini has got 3 wide for the lead, while Jumanta's trying to take back the lead here. It's Simonek on the outside there. And in the end, leader of this one, apologies, that was Simonek, just moving ahead. And yeah, Hyde's dropping down to 3rd place, so Jumanta still with plenty of fight left in, and did show good pace in race 1. And now Valentini's right with these drivers. It's almost the penultimate lap all over again, on the final lap all over again for Hyde here. Threats of losing a bunch of places in a couple of corners at the start of the tour. And Simonek having to go defensive. Hyde's coming back again as it's Schmitz off the circuit. He was up in 5th position, battling with Pinocchio, but he has spun round. It's McQuell, I believe, who's benefited from that one the most. He's now got up into 5th position. At the front, Jumanta somehow managed to keep Hydes behind him through turn 5 and 6, and remains in 2nd place. And now, after that incident down at turn 4, we've got the top 4 who have pulled away from the rest.
Yeah, Hyde seems to be struggling on the centre S as he's changing his line every single lap. If you watch him, he's trying to take it too tight, which obviously compromises his turn out of turn 1 going into turn 2. So he's losing a lot of time there, and he just needs to be aware of that going into this. But nice tight battle at the front. Looking at Franco here in 11th place with Healy just behind him. So the 3rd place Am, and McMullen in front of him in the 2nd place Am. So in an Irish sandwich is the Brazilian at the moment.
It's a Brazilian sandwich where the Irish are the bread, but I won't dwell on that. But you have just annoyed me quite a bit. And they come in basic sandwich terminology.
That's how you look at it,
McMullen. Oh, I don't even know. We've changed for the lead. Jumantis has got past. What a move that is from Marius Jumantis. I genuinely don't think he's necessarily got the pace of these drivers, but he's certainly got the fright of them. As here comes Valentini, he's going to have an epic run. Is there the space? Well, there is the space. The space has been opened up for him, and parting the ways, he is up into the lead momentarily. I don't think he's going to be able to hold on to it. Brilliant cutback though, and he is into the lead. That was exceptional driving. Hydes from nowhere manages to get past, and Simonek is at threat of dropping from 1st down to 4th in a few corners here. McQuarrie and Pinocchio right back with these drivers as well. They're wasting no time fighting for track position, and Hydes will be delighted with that one. He was disappointed to lose track position earlier on, but he's back to the front again.
That was a great move by Hydes. You know, Simantis and Simonek and Jumantas basically into that corner, got pushed a little bit wide by Valentini coming on the inside of him, which compromised the line. But you know, great line there taken by Caleb, obviously coming from 4th all the way to 1st. Excellent pass coming around that corner, which is it's a good corner to pass that one. You can get it right. If you get it right, you see what Caleb done there. You get it wrong, you see what Jumantas did, and Simonek going a bit wide into there. But great battling at the front as always. And Parmalee in top Am in 8th place. So at the moment it'll be 2nd with Newman as the reverse good pole at the moment. So Parmalee's continuing his trend of winning these Am championships. He's quite quiet normally, but he's sneaking in there and getting quite a few wins in this Am. And if we look at the 2nd place, which is Doherty, I think it is, he's sitting down in 18th place, so he's not having a good round at the moment, Sam.
Well, it's McMullen in 2nd place at the moment in those Ams. Just still a couple of cars between them. And also Newman just going up into 9th position. So Newman crucially within the reverse good places now. Top 9 reversed. And yeah, Newman in that important place. Certainly the favourite, I think, for race 3. If it ended like this, he's still having to fight for it though. In fact, this is actually his move on Parmalee then. And there he goes up into 8th. It's not been done with yet. Parmalee with a slightly shorter line, but I think he will realise how quick Pete Newman is. one of the most experienced drivers out on track, and there goes the Pure Sims Esports driver. And he's just got Ronald Moons now up ahead of him to overtake, and that will pretty much be the last car he'll be able to overtake within this 15 minutes. The 233 car, well, this is getting spicy. Schmitz just goes up the inside of everyone, it seemed, right there. So that was Arafag and Healy, I believe, battling. And Schmitz was able to make a beeline to the inside and gets ahead of the pair there. Meanwhile, Healy getting left behind a bit here. Churlo, after that pit lane start, had a poor race one. So really on the comeback trail all day long is Thor Churlo, still only down in 16th place. And there's Philippe Sen, who was running as high as 10th position, I believe, in race one, had a spin. And he hasn't really recovered since then either.
Yeah, close battle all around the field here. We can see here these top five cars all close proximity to each other, spreading out a little bit now, but great battling during the inner part of this Interlagos track. So yeah, it's the pit lane on this one, I think, Sam. Is, you know, if you've got some damage, it's probably the best track for getting that fast repair, because it's quite a fast entry into the pit lane, and the exit of the pit lane, you actually miss out the S's, so you miss out that part of the course. So, you know, if you've got some damage in these cars, it makes sense to try and get in and repair your car to get back out on the track, and don't lose that much time, I would imagine, not compared to other tracks, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we visited Road America a couple of weeks ago, and that's got the longest pit lane ever. I think maybe Indianapolis might be a little bit longer, but then that's got a higher pit lane speed. But yeah, that would absolutely kill you around there. Not as bad around this circuit. Healy's had a miserable lap here. Oh, and that's gone very badly for that's Sen, and I think they've both got punctures here, or at least collapsed suspension. So yeah, they are going to need to return to the pits. So. Oh, that is dreadful news for Schmitz. He qualified so well. I think he was up in 3rd place on the grid for race 1. Wasn't a bad race 1, you know, he finished, I think, in 4th position in race 1, did Schmitz, but a poor start to this race 2. And, yeah, well, that's the problem. You get yourself into those types of battles, and game over there. So still Hyde's leading out in the lead. It's calmed down a bit. But it's still very much up for grabs. Miguel and Pinocchio a bit too far back. I'm surprised Pinocchio hasn't been able to do a little bit more, honestly, because they're now pretty much out of slipstream range of these top 4. They're going to need the top 4 to fight in order to come back into this race. I'm just wondering if the pace is slightly better in this race too, and whether or not they'll be able to fit in another lap. They're just going to be short to gain, so it is 2 more laps to go. 2 more laps to go? 3 more laps to go, I believe. 3 more laps to go, yeah.
Yeah, probably 3, yeah. No, you're right there. The top 4 are starting to pull away. Pinocchio, obviously, really good in race 1. Seems to be struggling a little bit, but I certainly wouldn't write him off. Caleb Hyde's obviously doing a lot better in race 2, out front at the moment, but the gap's coming down as we speak, and Valentini may be looking on the inside into turn 4 here. We'll see what he does, if he takes that inside line, or if he just... Nope, it's going to stay behind him. It's a bit of a weird corner, that, because if you take it too far wide, you go out wide here, get a slow down penalty, and you lose so much time going around that corner. So it really is only one perfect line through that corner. But these 2 corners are the same, taking the inside line and obviously running out wide for this corner to get the perfect line into the tight right-hander going down to the intersection. But Valentini's all over the back of Hyde's at the moment, and we'll see what he can do. But Hyde's hasn't got the ability or the benefit of the slipstream, so Valentini's got that in his pocket, and we'll see if we can make it pay for him. But he's got to watch out for Simonek behind him, who's right on his tail, and Germantas on the tail of him. So quite close battling for the top 4 here, Sam.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to maybe... I guess it's not that similar to race 1, is it? Because Hyde is actually in 2nd place on the most part in race 1. So actually, this could turn out well for Hyde here. Of course, in race 1, it was Pinocchio at the front, and then everyone behind him started to fight. I wonder if that's what Hyde is thinking here. Try to stay in the lead, and then let Valentini, Simonek, Germantas and co all battle, and let him pull away. Problem is, I don't think he's going to be able to keep the lead for a whole lot longer, because Valentini was very close coming out on turn 12, and he is able to get ahead. Simonek wasting no time either, and gets past his main championship rival into 2nd, and Hides offline. A little bit of a slide as well through turn 2, and look at that straight away. McQuell and Pinocchio right back in with these giants. Simonek might go for the lead here. He has got a lot of confidence, or he should have a lot of confidence in his own pace. He's been the fastest man so far this season. And I thought he was going to start pulling the train away. In the end, he actually ducked behind Valentini and let him take the lead for a while, as Yamantis has a big side. It's almost a complete spin, and Aris Yamantis' chance of a podium there have well and truly gone, and he's got to make sure he stays within the top 9 here, otherwise he won't even get within the reverse grid.
Maybe that's what he's going for. He wants to get pole for the second race as well. So, but no, he seems that's Jamantis all over. He's very competitive when he's there, but you know, sometimes he makes these silly mistakes that causes massive damage to his championship hopes. And we saw it again there, going around that corner. Obviously, trying to push the car a little bit too much, and unfortunately getting the back end out, which is quite easy to do coming down that long first straight. We see a battle here with Doherty, Arafat and Healy, so I don't know what you want to call this one, Sam. I'll let you call this one. But yeah, no, it's real tight battle, and the Irish contingency all together again. Band of brothers, I think we need to call them, Sam.
Yeah, I think they're all friends with one another. I believe certainly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, none of them are in the same team, and yeah, I think they're all friends. Like, Ireland's a small place. It's not particularly, is it? There's a lot of people. Valentini's into the lead anyway. Apologies, well, he was already in the lead, but it's actually Simonek who's tried to retake that one. So we are on the last lap of the race here. Hyde is right there, so this looks like it's going to be a three-way battle. Pinocchio's got past McQuell, but they kind of lost out due to the spin from Yamantis. That was kind of the slipstream that they kind of needed to hook onto the back of these guys. Gone. Valentini still having to go defensive. Hides on the inside. Look at the pace that Simonek has got. He's managed to keep it within the boundaries there. A bit cautious, honestly, from Valentini, and that might just cost him this race win. Who is Hides going to give a bump job to? He's just lifting out of it, I think, trying to follow through Simonek. He feels like that inside line is the place to be to make a move, and he moves up into second place. So Simonek consolidates that lead. Hides now into second, although I think Valentini's still alongside us right now. Is there contact so often? Door-to-door contact around this part of the circuit, and this could be a little bit like what it was for Pinocchio in race 1, second and third battling with one another and allowing the leader to get away, and that is what has happened, because Simonek has now got a half a second lead as long as he's just neat and tidy throughout this final corner, which is a corner that Hides hasn't been particularly strong at all day long. He should be safe from the chasing pack. The gap was 0.58 coming out of turn 12. Is that going to be enough for Paweł Simonek to take another race win this season and to further extend his championship lead? Hides will get close, but it's still upwards of 0.4 of a second. It will be close for second position, but as in the lead there is no doubt it is Paweł Simonek who wins race 2 of the evening. Hides just about beats Valentini by 3/100ths of a second at the line, and yeah, Pinocchio and McQuell rounding out the top 5. Newman with 11 places gained to come in 6th. Who is going to win out of Healy and Arafag? It's Healy. He'll be very satisfied with that one. He fell down to, I think, about 16th place at one point, did Healy. Fought back well, though, and he finished in 13th place. And it's another race win as well for Dan Palmley in 9th place in the amateur category, and crucially, also gets a reverse grid pole.
Yeah, that's going to be great for his championship hopes. Obviously, first dam. First place, nearest dam's going to be about 9 places behind him, so you know he's got a good gap between himself and the second place am. So you know, ideal for him getting top am in that race and obviously getting reverse grid pole. So we'll be over the moon going into this third and final race. So.
Definitely, yeah. It is just one more race to go. We are going to have a little bit of a pause before the final race. We've just got Philippe Sen in fact, to cross the line. Once he's across the line, we can go through the final results. By the way, just a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, SDK Gaming, via our immaculate overlay. There's so much data presented so neatly with the SDK overlay, and there's so much customization as well that you can get. A lot of it you get as basic, really, because you can use the NASCAR template, you can use pretty much the Formula 1 template, the Formula 3.5 template, which is personally one of my favorites, as that looks very dark for the drivers at the moment, so we may have some issues there. But anyway, we will go through the results. Here's Simonet who wins out ahead of Hydes, Valentini, Pinocchio, McQuell, Newman, Franco, Yomantis, Parmley, and Moon to round out the top 10. The rest of the order is for you there. We'll be back with you then on Apex Racing TV in just a moment. We'll let the warm-up session progress before heading into the final 15 minutes of the evening. See you then.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Welcome back to Interlagos and meeting 4 of Season 2 of the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup Championship. It is very dark here at Interlagos, and it should make for a little bit of an interesting final race of the evening. 6 o'clock in the evening, but of course down in Interlagos, very dark at this time of year, so it should be pretty cool to see these cars. It's not going to be it's going to be a little bit more tricky for us, Andy, in the commentary box, but this could be quite a nice one. These cars, though, at least do have some very effective headlights.
Yeah, but it's the first round that they've had in the night, so it hopefully won't throw them off too much, and some really good racing. But yeah, it's a spectacular sight in this track when you can see all the headlights going around the track. It just makes for a really good sight on track. Looking forward to it, actually.
Absolutely, yeah. It should be a pretty good race. Of course, so far we've seen Ivan Pinocchio take a race win, and also Pavel Simonek managed to take the spoils in race 2. So maybe we'll see a repeat winner, but with a reverse grid of 9 and with Pete Newman up probably as the front runner out of the established drivers. Also Arias Diamantis. Maybe we will see a first-time winner in this race 3. By the way, you recently saw the VRS commercial virtual racing school. Big thanks to them for helping us out on Apex Racing TV and that Apex Racing League. Super appreciate their support, and of course do check out Virtual Racing School. I believe there's a link in the description, but if there's not, just give it a Google or any search engine that you choose, and you can check it out. So here are the starting order then for race 3, and it is the amateur driver Dan Parmley, amateur championship leader as well, who starts on pole position. Would be a fantastic day if he could stay anywhere near that pole position in this race 3. There's Arias Mantis in second place, Rafael Franco in third, Pete Newman, Tom McQuell, Ivan Pinocchio, Tom Valentini, Caleb Hayes, Pavel Simonek, and Rodolf Moons. It's the top 10. The rest of the order will go through for you. Lots of AMs there, and also it's an all Luxembourg box back for the grid. Schmitz and Lauer, who looked so strong at the start of the day. It's gone fairly south for them, but hopefully they can make an impression in this race 3. Just got Diamantis once again. He likes to keep us waiting. The last man on the grid, but he is now there with 10 seconds to go in the gridding process, and the lights will very much illuminate this dark Interlagos circuit. Parmley from the pole position. We are away racing. It's not a good start for the American, and immediately Diamantis does take the lead, just as he did in race 2 when he started from pole. It is him who is leading into turn 1. 3 wide for second place. Round goes Parmley though off the circuit. That was contact with Valentini, I believe, down into turn 1. And it's dreadful news for those drivers. In fact, I think it may have been Franco who made the contact. Franco now spinning round in turn 3 anyway. So it's Diamantis leading, Newman with a good start, Pinocchio with a good start, and also a pretty good start for Caleb Hyde as well, as they're rushing down into turn 4 for the first time in this race. McQuell running very wide through 4. He can actually pick up a decent amount of speed as he rejoins the circuit. And for the amateur lead, it's now actually Damien McMullen who leads the way in 9th position. That is dreadful news there for Dan Parmley.
Yeah, terrible start from Dan. Unfortunately got picked up in the first corner, slow off the line, got caught up with the pros, and obviously had the incident in the first corner. You know, from first on the grid to down in 19th place. He's got to be feeling it in his sim rig now, but you know, he's just got to get his head down and start battling. But see big battles here going. Christian Smits, Laura obviously taking him on the inside. So yeah, it's all happening in this third race in the middle part in the dark. So it's going to be a bit different for the drivers as well, because obviously in the dark, it's you've got to be sure of your lines, or else you know you can come off the track quite easily on any like circuit. You've got to be confident with the track, that's for sure.
Yes, all hours off the circuit, and is that? Oh no, it's Samson. I was just about to say Samson got an incredible start, one of the starts of the season, because he was up 9 places by the midway point in the lap, and no disrespect to Colin, but I think that was that was a little bit of a surprise, honestly, because he hasn't necessarily been too quick tonight, but must have just positioned his car absolutely perfectly for the first few corners, and yeah, was right up there, but unfortunately that offers cost him as well, his car's all over the place down into turn 1 in the back end of this field, or at least the kind of the second half of the field, honestly. This is about 10 cars all grouped right with one another. Jay Walsh, who entered the evening 3rd place in the amateur category, not sure if he will stay there, because he hasn't had some great results, but at least he is ahead of Colin Sampson now, who is back to where he started after such great work for Year 1 TV. Near the front, it is a half-second lead for Arias Diamantis at the moment, but it is really anyone's game out of the top 5 right now. There you can see Diamantis with a slight advantage. Newman a bit under pressure from Pinocchio, who is once again in there. We know that Pinocchio won't hesitate going for a move, and there he goes, in fact, straight up into 2nd position. Newman has to leave him space, and in fact, actually, there's a bit of contact there. Pinocchio won't lose out too much time, though. He'll drop to 5th in line. Valentini nips up the inside. And there goes Pinocchio again.
Yeah, just a rear tap there from Valentini going into that corner. But what you missed actually was McMullen. Obviously, in the last corner on the last lap, as we see Tooley doing a bit of off-road action here in Interlagos. You missed McMullen, obviously losing first place in the AM, coming around the last corner, took it wide and spun it out. So he went from first place down to second to last at the moment. So that first place in the AM at the moment is not a good place to be. We have Harmony go off on the first lap, and then we've had McMullen on the second lap. So all happening in the AMs, and Healy now is in first place in the AM Championship. So all to play for in that AMs, and it's getting mixed up. Harmony's made a really good recovery. He's actually now in second place in the AMs from obviously starting at the back of the field, Sam. So a great recovery drive at the moment from Harmony.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't got more damage on Steve Harmony, but his lap times are all right. He's in traffic, so it's difficult to judge. He's about 2 seconds off the pace of the leaders, as we might see a change of the lead here. Newman going for the inside against Diamantis, who didn't really cover it off. He feel like it was inevitable that he would be overtaken and going to be in second place. Hyde at depth of a bit of a corner contact there with the Lithuanian. Managed to back out of it just in the nick of time. So it's Newman now who leads, and Diamantis does hold on well to that second place. You can see the amount of curb they're taking into turn 5. Hyde is going to go for this one into the right-hander, but Diamantis will not give up without a fight, and they don't want to do too much of this, otherwise Newman will be away.
No, you certainly want that the inside line for that corner we've just gone past there, because obviously if you get the outside line, it's quite far around on that course, and it doesn't set BOL for this section. So slightly lost a little bit of ground as Hyde's getting past Diamantis. He needs to buckle down now and obviously work with Diamantis to get on to the back of Newman, so Newman doesn't stop him. Oh, looks like it was that Macwell on Valentini was thought he was going to have a bit of contact there and slide off, but they managed to keep it cleanish going through that corner and still keeping in the race for the battle. But certainly Valentini is having some fun with Pinocchio. As we all know, Pinocchio likes his inside line, so I would expect to see him going up the inside. Yep, so close to the inside. Let's see if he can get this move done. But obviously Valentini on the faster line on the outside, and obviously being on the outside, he should have it come down. But no, Pinocchio gets it done, and Pinocchio up into 4th at the moment.
The rear brake lights really lighting up at the moment for some of these cars. You've got Pinocchio's green wheels really illuminating right now. But yeah, those rear brakes under a lot of pressure down into turn 1. Of course, in the Spec Forward Racer, you get brake wear, I believe now. Brake temperatures at least. Wow, that is it's aggressive from Pinocchio. I think he managed to force the Diamantis slightly offline right there.
Yeah,
but, yeah, it's cost them a little bit of time, but yeah, Newman and Hyde's got away too much. Quiet race so far for Simonek, hasn't it? He's still down in 7th.
Yeah, he's I don't think he needs to push it. He just needs to be consistent now. He knows he's got a big lead in the championship. He just needs to pick his moments. As we see in front, there's people diving up the inside, bumping doors and bits and pieces like that. He's just going about his business at the back, and he may pick off, as we see there. He picks off Macwell going into coming into the sector 3. So just quietly picking off the people at the back, I think, and hoping that the people in front of them come to some sort of issues and picks up more places. But yeah, he is certainly having a quiet one. I think he deserves it. He's had some hectic races.
yeah, a little bit of a cool down. He's outscored Hyde in both races so far tonight, considering that he qualified 6 places below Hyde. I think he'll be delighted with that one. So yeah, probably quite happy just to maybe get a top 5 to end the evening. There goes Hyde up into the lead with the overspeed over Newman, who is very experienced, knows that maybe Hyde's got a slight pace advantage. Oh no, Newman gets taken out there by Pinocchio. Maybe that was one too aggressive there for Pinocchio. He makes contact with Newman, and that is a great shame for Pete, who had worked so hard after that poor start to race 1, where he got taken out on that occasion as well. In fact, actually, I think he may have collided with someone else to be found that occasion. But certainly this time it wasn't his fault. He drops down to 12th, and one of my favourites for the race win, at least one of the absolute favourites objectively for the race win in this race 3. Out to the running, and there was Pinocchio. Such a different speeds there. The top two were really cautious on the brakes. Pinocchio was still going to make the corner, but just, yeah, carrying too much speed in.
Yeah, certainly went into hot into that corner, and unfortunately the two in front of him were battling, making the defensive line, which slowed him up, and then unfortunately Pinocchio went in the back of Newman, so real disaster for Pete, down in 14th place at the moment. So yeah, he's not had a good day at the office.
No, it's he wanted to recover some points if he could. Newman, of course, missed the first round of the championship. Once you miss a round of the championship, it does put a lot of pressure on you. You do get one drop score, and that can be absolutely your saviour on some occasions. You can have one rubbish meeting across the season, then don't even need to remember it in the end because it doesn't make an impact on your drive score. But once you miss a round, you really cannot afford meetings like this where you're finishing outside of the top 8 in multiple races. So Hyde's still in the lead. Yamantis, this has opened up for him a little bit, and Simonek has gone from 7th up to 4th in a couple of laps. We should have 3 to go. Although the lap times are better in this race 3, I wouldn't count out the chances of us making one extra lap. We've been about probably about 5 to 10 seconds short each race so far tonight for making the extra lap. So we might get one extra, which would cause havoc potentially with, actually it wouldn't cause havoc with the fuel, because this is a fixed setup series, of course, so they're all on the exact same fuel. We've got plenty of fuel to spare, but still would be a little bit of a surprise element to this race if we haven't had any already.
Well, so Parmley's on the back of Healy now, so he's right up into contention to get that's 3, isn't it? If he wins this one, that'll be 3 race wins. So he takes him nicely onto the corner, and Dan Parmley goes into first place at the M's. So yeah, 3 race wins, I believe, from tonight. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe that is. Yeah, and I mean the first 2 as well were pretty comfortable, weren't they? I mean, this one's been tricky. Seeing he was taken out at turn 1, he's done remarkably well. There's Newman. He was also taken out at turn 1, but on a different lap. Getting past Franco. Pinocchio's just got past McQuell as well. You will have just seen that highlight on the timing tower of the circuit. Goes Franco. Well, actually, these two are still fighting with one another. This is, geez, these guys are a long way off the lead now, aren't they? They are 3.7 seconds off. Just about to see the other drivers in the background, but yeah, I mean, I say it again, they need the others to fight, and if anything, if today's anything to judge by, I think they will start to fight out in the lead.
Yeah, did you see Pinocchio's line through that last corner coming onto the backside? Took it really wide on the right-hand side, got a really good cutback in, obviously got right on the back of McQuell, which obviously he's managed to make it count. So yeah, really good line for Pinocchio out of that corner, which obviously pays to a bit of a slide coming out there. So I think he'll be compromised coming down here. I think McQuell are getting back down this straight going into turn 4. So and we've got a bit of a battle here with Parmley, Newman, Healy, Franco and Sen for 10th place. So we got the top Am here and the 2nd place Am at the moment, and Newman obviously just trying to make a recovery after that unfortunate accident with Pinocchio on turn 1.
Yeah, you should just be able to get past each of these guys fairly quickly, Newman, and that seems to have been what happened. He is up into 10th, and that will be as far up as he gets. Parmley with, of course, one car between himself and Healy, and lots of cars between himself and McMullen. He's had a rubbish race, as McMullen hasn't had to come into the pits, but he's, on that last lap he was quite safe, maybe carrying some damage, certainly did have some issues earlier on in the race. By the way, thanks to everyone who's tuned in so far tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, then we also have a Twitch channel, which you can watch all of our streams on. That's where you prefer to watch your live streams. Twitch.tv/Apex Racing TV, I believe. Yeah, go give us a follow on that platform. And of course, if you're watching on Twitch, go watch us on YouTube if you prefer, of course. We've got so many races on Apex Racing TV coming up, about 20 or so every single week, in prototypes, in single seaters, in Porsche Cup cars, in Mazdas, such as these. So much stuff on Apex Racing TV, so do make sure you follow and subscribe, as Mantis is having to go on the defense here, or maybe not go on the defense, honestly. Well, maybe that was defensive for him, going around the outside at turn 1 to defend against Valentini. It certainly worked for him, either way, and he remains in second place, but He's now 0.6 of a second ahead. Valentini's been very generous tonight. He's kind of the opposite, I think, of Pinocchio. He's always willing to stay behind the driver and let them kind of drag him up to the leaders. But Jumantis is making a few mistakes at the moment. You just saw him miss the apex at turn 4. And I imagine this is really frustrating both Valentini and Simonek, who of course are seeing hides, just scamper away a bit.
Yeah, definitely. We obviously mentioned it on the last race. This Jumantis is quite a good racer, but does make the occasional mistake. And at the moment, he's making a few mistakes, which is causing Hides to be able to get away at 0.6 of a second. Although he's not pulling away that much. The guys behind Jumantis, Valentini, and Simonek are still in contention, but they need to get past Jumantis. It does seem that he's very much slowing them two guys up. But as we were saying at the start, where we were talking about Simonek, he was in 7th place. I mean, he's up to 4th place now, still on the back. And he's just picking off the places as he goes along. So, another great drive from him. And keeping it nice and clean. But I certainly love the... he goes a bit wide there as I say that. I certainly love the rear brake disc lighting up in the dark. It looks a bit special on iRacing.
So this will be the checkered flag then for Caleb Hides to take his first race win of the evening. He took pole position for race 1, and at the end of race 3 he's finally going to get the spoils. He takes a crucial race win, beating Yamantes, who just about managed to beat Valentini to the line. Tight between that 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Pinocchio will finish in 5th to round off a fairly good evening for him after the height of that race 1 win. And it is 3 out of 3 for Dan Palmer. What's an evening for the American? His best evening, almost certainly, in Apex Racing League history. And rounds it off with another amateur win, and really does extend that championship lead of his. He's going to be probably close to 100 points clear heading into the second half of the season. Wow, this is close. This is McMullen versus Churlo. I think Churlo, for the second time tonight, loses out on a run to the line. 5/100ths of a second was the gap between the Irishman and the Brit. And that, in fact, is already all the drivers across the line. A really good evening of racing, and I thoroughly enjoyed that one. I think this was maybe a good balance of circuit, because you got the tight, twisty section in the middle of the track, as you pointed out earlier on, but then, of course, you got the long straights as well. And I think the drivers probably quite enjoyed their time out there, because whilst we saw a few incidents, I'd say the driving standards were one of the highest we've seen this season.
Yeah, definitely. I was quite surprised that slipstream down the back straight wasn't as stronger than what it was. We didn't see many people going up and overtaking that I was expecting, like we were seeing like in the first couple of rounds in Road America. Great racing. And as we can see here, results for race 3: Caleb Hides in 1st, Arias Romantis in 2nd, Tom Valentini in 3rd, Pavel Simonek in 4th, Ivan Pinocchio 5th, Ronald Moon 6th, Cristiano Smits 7th, Philip Lowry 8th, Tom McQuell 9th, Peter Newman 10th, so great recovery from him, obviously getting hit and getting taken down the back of the field. Ralph Franco in 11th, Dan Palmer, the first of the Yams, in 12th, Nathan Healy just behind him in 13th, Philip Sen 14th, Darren Doherty 15th, Colin Sansom 16th, Jay Walsh 17th, Wade Proctor in 18th. And Damien McMullen, which is probably around to forget for him, in 19th. Tulo in 20th, and Ismail Arafat in 21st. So yeah, Sam, really interesting race. Great racing, all 3 races good. Some slight incidents there, but the big winners out of today, Dan Palmer and Pavel Simonek as well. So he's only going to extend the leads, both of them, in the championships.
Absolutely, yeah, brilliant evening for the pair of them. And in just a moment, we're going to have a chat with some of our judges. But just before that, we're going to show you a little bit of another trailer for one of our sponsors for just about a minute or so. So we'll see you back in just a moment. Welcome back to Apex Racing TV, and thanks to Apex Racing Academy for helping us out on Apex Racing TV and of course Apex Racing League as well. And of course, thanks to them for providing prizes for the champions. I believe if you win the Drives Championship in this, you get a 1-year subscription to Apex Racing Academy. I believe that's worth something like 100 quid or so, and there's also prizes as well for the teams champions, for the amateur champions as well. So thanks to them, and of course a reminder that they provide 29 data packs for road and also dirt road racing as well. That's of course the rallycross side of things. You got solo coaching sessions, group coaching sessions. It's integrated with VRS, and it's also just super easy to use. All the setups and all the RPY files downloaded straight into your file directory. It's no hassle to get your hands on them, and yeah, it's just some fantastic kits. So do check out apexracingac.com to get yourself a subscription. We are spoilt tonight with the interviews we've got on offer. First up, I had a chat Mr. Dan Palmley, because he is our triple winner, our hat-trick winner tonight, winning every single one of the amateur races here at Interlagos. Congratulations, Daniel. I was saying just at the end of that race, they must be probably the best night of Apex Racing League you've ever had.
Definitely, Sam. It really didn't look good there for a minute at the start of race 3, getting tagged going into the Senna S. And I think my pirouette is what saved me, because I was able to rejoin right at the back of the field. So I was able to work my way back up through all those cars. And then when I saw Healy was running up in the top 10, I'm like, all right, that's the goal. We're getting there.
You were fastest in practice, you were fastest in qualifying, you looked fastest in each of the races as well. I mean, of course, you have been strong this season, but you seem to have a particular edge tonight. I mean, do you know what the reason for that was?
I don't know. My only experience at this track, if we exclude the Porsche, the 911 GT3 Cup, was in F1 pole position on the N64, and I really liked that track in that game. So I played it a lot as a kid, so maybe that gave me a little bit of an edge. I'm not sure, but I didn't think I was going to be this quick tonight.
No, it was yeah, pretty awesome as well. I mean, how was it? You know, how was the racing tonight? Because of course you had that incident, as you mentioned, at the start of race 3, but apart from that, it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, Sam, it really was. Yeah, I was quick enough. I was able to mix it up with some of those pro guys, and I think that was some really good experience. It seems like a lot of times I'll kind of get separated from those guys at some of the other tracks we've been at, and I kind of get on my own island. But tonight, having to not only work back through the pack in race 3, but even in race 1 and 2, getting to mix it up with some of those pro class guys was definitely a lot of fun.
We've had the tracks for the second half of the season announced. We're visiting Lime Rock Park, Bathurst, Alton Park, and of course, as already confirmed, Charlotte. What out of those races are you looking forward to after next week, after the break week?
I really like Lime Rock, really like Charlotte. Really no experience at Bathurst. I'm really not looking forward to Bathurst. I know it's a tough track. I've done a little bit of practice there in other cars. But yeah, definitely Lime Rock and Charlotte on the top of my list. I really want to do well at those two. Alton Park, again, not a lot of experience there, but I think I can pick that track up pretty quick with this car.
Well, we wish you the best of luck for that one. Dan, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Shout out to the family again, and thanks to my wife for putting up with all the iRacing I'm doing these days. And thanks to you guys. We'll catch you next week, or actually week after next, right?
Yeah, break week. Put your feet up, and yeah, we'll see you in a fortnight's time.
Definitely, we'll see you next time.
Dan Parmley there, your triple amateur race winner tonight. Andy, who are we going to have a chat with next?
Let's go with Caleb. Let's go with Caleb and see how his race went on. Hi, Caleb. Welcome to the commentary box. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Hello, guys.
How are you? Obviously, last round was a bit of a mixed bag for yourself. How did you feel tonight went for you?
Yeah, obviously, the past 2 rounds have been not very good, obviously. We've been able to take pole, but then, yeah, hasn't really gone any better than that. That was basically the best result for the night. So yeah, I'd say this has been a pretty solid round. Definitely not the best. Watkins Glen, I would say, has definitely been the best round so far for me. But either way, I'm happy to take second and a first, so that's pretty good. Race 1, I was in contention to be up the front and just, yeah, had a bit of door banging on the last lap and got damaged and couldn't really fight for anything. So P5, so 5 second and first is alright.
Yeah, it's good results. So obviously in your previous rounds, you've done really well in every round. You've done really well in the first round, and obviously the reverse grid seems to be sort of hurting you a lot more than it has been your closest rivals. What's been the reason behind that? Have you been trying to push it a bit too hard on the first lap, or is it just unfortunate? Obviously, we saw the Road America twice in one with the car in front of you not working, but what seems to be the issue? Is it trying to get through the pack, or is it just something else?
Well, yeah, as you said, Road America was really unlucky because on both reverse grid races, the car in front of me stalled, so basically I had nowhere to go. And then Summit Point, race 2 got caught up in an incident. All the cars checked up into their hairpin down there, and I just wasn't really expecting it. I was trying to race Simonek for position, and I was able to get ahead of him, and then came into the next corner and all the cars were on the anchors. So, yeah, that put a halt to a good result in that race. And then race 3, I was going for a pass on Daniel Parmalee, I think. And yeah, we had bad net code. It spun him around right in front of me and had nowhere to go and got damaged from that. So, yeah, I'm trying to keep out of all trouble on lap 1, but you know, wasn't really the case at Summit, but luckily today we were able to keep it clean, and especially in that last race starting back in 8th, I was able to move forward quite fast, and then get into the lead, which was my goal, to be up front each race.
Yeah, so Pavel Simonek has obviously got a bit of a lead now in the championship. Obviously, the drop rounds have not been included in that, so it'll be a bit closer than what it is. How are you looking at trying to cover the gap between yourself and Pavel?
Well, first of all, I'm glad to see Bathurst just announced to be on the schedule, so I'm happy with that, and Roval as well. So I got 2 of my favorite tracks on the calendar for the 4 rounds that we have left, so hopefully that can help out a bit. Hopefully we'll be nice and speedy there. So look, I think just from here on, just going to be trying to drive as fast as I can, and I think now just you really got to be up front to be able to have a real good shot with the new build on this car. So yeah, qualifying on pole obviously helps, and then reverse grid races, just staying out of trouble, trying to open my eyes a bit for 5 a.m. Caleb, who was up on Tuesday morning racing here. So yeah, just got to be awake and look out for cars and just keep it clean and drive fast, basically.
Yeah, definitely. So we got Lime Rock Park after a week's break. How are you looking forward to that track?
That should be fun. Love that track as well. So, but it'll be interesting. We have a big field of pro drivers now. So yeah, times will be very close, and the racing will definitely be very close. So that'll be a big case of being up front and being able to control the pack. But once you're off or offline at Lime Rock, like, you can have the whole train go by you. So yeah, that'll be very important to stay focused and make sure to not make any mistakes, but that should be fun.
Yeah, so it's been great watching you anyway, Caleb. Before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just a big thank you to my team, Drop Bay Motorsports, who gets me out here. Team sponsors, Sam Blacklock Media, Hybrid Racing Simulations, and Cozy and Apex Racing for putting on the series and broadcast.
Well, thanks, Caleb. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Sam. So a bit of a mixed bag there for Caleb in the first 3 rounds, but he's certainly there on pace. Who are you going to get in next?
I'm going to have a chat with Damien McMullen, I think, who managed to get an 11th and a 19th place finish tonight. Damien, that was a mixed bag, I guess. 2 very good races to start off with those strong finishes, and then a bit of a disappointing 3rd race, but overall, not a bad night.
No, it was a really good race, and as I said, I was just talking to the boys in the interview waiting area. It was really great, like I say, it was great to have Nathan back, and then with race 1 and race 2, finishing 2nd in the Pro-Am class, it was just like what I was looking for. And with Dan gone off ahead, I was like, oh, he's gone, so I was like, that's it, I'm just going to defend my 2nd place. And same thing for race 2, defend my 2nd place. But race 3 is like a curse at the moment, can't do well.
No, what happened actually in that race though? Because so much was happening in the early stages. You seemed to get an awesome start, and then it went bad at turn 12, I believe.
Yeah, it was a nice little surprise when we realised it was a dark race for race 3, so it was a nice little mix. But then coming up I think it was the 2nd last corner, I just got a lovely tap in the back, so I need to check back the replay. But in general, I'm just happy to finish the race and just keep going.
Definitely. I've just updated the standings with the drop scores. You are in 2nd place in the championship, as I believe you were beforehand anyway. You are 37 points behind Dan Palmley, so certainly catchable. I mean, if you had a round like you did at Watkins Glen, then that gap would quickly be bridged. So how are you rating your chances at the titles? Do you think you've got the ability to beat Dan?
Well, the motto I have is just take every race as you can, and if you finish well, just take it on board. If not, just take it on the chin and just move on to the next round.
Awesome, very good attitude to have. Best of luck, of course, for the final 4 rounds. Damien, is there anyone you'd like to give any thanks to?
I just want to say thanks to my family and my friends, and to all my friends. Friday night, we're going to have a few drinks. It's my birthday, so I can't wait.
Very good. Have a good one. We'll see you back in a fortnight's time.
Perfect. Thanks very much again.
Damien McMullen there. Finishing in some pretty good results. Yeah, 2nd place in the AMS in race 1 and race 2, and then 19th overall in race 3. Andy, I think we've got one more interview.
Yes, let's get his countryman in. So we'll get Nathan in. Hi, Nathan. Welcome to the commentary box.
How's it going, Andrew?
Yeah, good. How are you? How was that round for yourself?
That was very good. Literally, I had maybe 14, 15 laps of practice before the race. Because I literally only got back into the country yesterday, so it was a nice choice to be back. And I drove the best I could. I was trying to fight up with Damo for a while, but 2 thirds in a second, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it seems to be the way in the MX-5. I think Dan Palmley last week basically said he had 2 hours of the free practice, and that was it. And you've had very little practice, and you've done really well. So it seems to be a growing trend within the MX-5. If you don't practice much, you get up there. Is that the case?
Yeah. You can kind of get up to speed with them fairly quick. And like tonight was my first time after the new update where they changed from H pattern to sequential. So it was all new to me when it goes sequential. So I literally just drove the best I could and tried to keep up with Damo and Dan when he was rubbing against the back bumper.
Yeah, so you're doing quite well in the championships at the moment. I'm sure Sam will tell it. Where's Nathan at the moment, Sam? Do you know?
7th. Gone up
7th
2 places tonight.
Yeah, up 2 places in 7th. So climbing up that leaderboard. What are your aspirations for this season, Nathan?
I'm just trying to get back as high up as I can as possible. With the missing 2 rounds due to vacation, it was kind of a kick in the pants when I realized I was going to miss 2 rounds. But I'll try as hard as my best so I can get into top 5 and kind of just represent the Irish flag a little bit better, I'll be doing well.
Well, certainly you three are flying the Irish flag with pride, as we always love watching you and talking to you in the commentary box. Before we let you go, mate, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Just want to thank the guys at Apex Racing there for putting on a fantastic championship as usual, and just a shout out to SCCR Simsports for the racing team I run with.
Well, thank you for joining us, Nathan, and enjoy your week off now and come back fully refreshed for Lime Rock Park, mate.
Yeah, definitely. I must go rebuild my rig next week, so that's going to be fun.
That's lucky then. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Well, Sam, that was some interesting interviews there. So, you know, we've got Caleb, who's still positive, considering he's had some terrible rounds previously, but, you know, they're all still in the fighting chances, and these places are changing week on week, really.
Yeah, I really can't stress enough just how volatile the points are. I mean, with all championships, you know, it's volatile, but particularly these MX-5s, just like Caleb had in Road America, you know, what's the chances of having two stopped cars in front of you on the grid in consecutive races? And I mean, if that something like that happened to Simonek, all of a sudden the championship is back level again. So really could go either way to the end of the championship. We've now actually got a break week next week, and just by the way, I mean, if you're a fan of this series, if you enjoy watching the races, why not take part? Because you can sign up at apexracingleague.com just for the final 4 meetings of the season. And yeah, that would that's available by apexracingleague.com. That's available for just £12 plus VAT, because we offer entry for just those rounds. You don't have to pay for the first 4, you can just pay for the final 4. So if you want to give it a go, especially if you're thinking about maybe taking part next season, it's really good to take part in the final few rounds of the season prior, just so that you're up to speed, so you can mount a proper attack on the championship next time round. In a couple of weeks, Andy, we are heading to Lime Rock Park, as was announced earlier on to the drivers. That's a circuit we actually visited last season as well, and we had quite a bit of carnage, to be honest. A couple of the starts went very badly, but that's I say it a lot, but that's another classic combo, because of course so many drivers in iRacing, certainly I did, learnt their craft at Lime Rock Park in the MX-5 in the global MX-5 car. So I think that would be quite familiar for the drivers, that one.
Yeah, definitely. It's very similar to Summit Point, and we saw a lot of carnage in that race for the last round. So, you know, the drivers just need to be aware of that. It's a tight track, short track, with lots of fast sweeping bends, and especially, as you mentioned, the first bend, the tight loop that to the right that goes around in that first bend. So you do normally see a bit of carnage, but these drivers are pros. They drive to the limit of the cars, and on the whole are very good at what they do. And you know, that's the beauty of these cars, is that, you know, and especially when you mentioned the points, is that you know, you've got to be on the limit to win it, but you've also got to be within them limits, because these cars can bite, and as soon as you spin, as we saw today, you could go from second all the way down to last place. So, you know, you've got to keep it within the limits, but drive it as you stole it, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really looking forward to that one in a couple of weeks' time, where we'll see the series renewed. And of course, yeah, do check out apexracingleague.com, where you can sign up to this series along with our other 5 series currently going on. You know, we've got GT3s on a Tuesday, we've got Porsche Cups on a Wednesday. We will soon have a new series actually on Thursday, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Also, prototypes on a Friday, F3s on a Saturday, and GTEs on a Sunday. You can also join our Discord server as well through a link in the description. And if you go into there, then you can see all the announcements for the upcoming series. It's really the best place to be in order to follow all the Apex Racing League news. And of course, you can also see the race report for this race and all the other races, along with some amazing photos as well for each event over on the apexracingleague.com website. Just go to the race articles, the news section, and you can see all of that stuff. So yeah, of course, we'll see you back in a couple of weeks' time. If you've enjoyed this video, do make sure to leave a like on it and also subscribe to the Apex Racing TV YouTube channel and follow us on Twitch as well whilst you're at it. Plenty more action coming up in the next few days. Of course, we've got, I think we've got Vicmotech tonight. I believe we've got the GT Trophy tomorrow. We've got the Porsche Cup cars at Chicago Street Course on Wednesday, which certainly I'm looking forward to. So do make sure to catch all of that action coming up, and also check out our social media platforms as well on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, and from Andy Thompson and from Sam Kume, we are going to say goodbye, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Lime Rock Park. See you then.